Hello, it's Vienna again. Yesterday was the first day of my externship at the Acacia House. It's a boutique hotel. It's a Park Hyatt property, and it's located in St. Helena. I was brought on as a culinary extern. So I'm going to talk about my experience there as a 40-year-old extern. And then I'm also going to talk about the importance of feedback because that's been kind of really important to me. Okay, so let's get into it. So yesterday was my first day as an extern. And what I've come to find out is like everybody has asked me, what's the difference between an extern and intern? Substantially the same. I don't know. I haven't even really bothered to look it up because my lived experience is that it's the same. I was an intern in my prior life in the accounting space, but that's been a good 20 years ago. I had my first internship for Jaguar company as a freshman at Howard, and that was a incredibly cool summer. Maybe one day I'll tell some stories from that summer. But at any rate, having this experience all over again at 40 is like very, very humbling. So first and foremost, it's like the way the externship is structured, I totally didn't. I thought I would go right into the kitchen and like start being able to really perfect my skill, which is really what I need to do to kind of move to the next level and kind of my cooking. So I really thought that that's what I was going to be doing, and I was even prepared to like have this experience where I was overworked and getting my ass kicked every night to get better, all to the point of getting better. It turns out that's not it. That's not what I'm going to be encountering, because the Park Hyatt is really a property where they try to actually like make sure you feel included. They have a really professional environment, even more so than some of my onboarding in my past life as an accountant. So we're going through this very slow, intentional process of me getting to know the organization, which I think is a good, very, very good process for most other people. But as a consultant and as an auditor, a lot of times I would walk into much bigger organizations and would have to not only get to know them in like a short time frame. So when I say a short time frame, I'm really talking about a week, 2 weeks, and then be able to execute actual test procedures on these places. So the pace at which I'm usually used to taking the information is so much faster. So I've come to realize that everything I'm going to learn, every experience I have here is going to be really predicated on me being willing to see myself different. It's been a long time. I've never been the oldest person in the room. I started school at 4, and I've always been the youngest person in the room. So this is like a part of my career where I'm becoming the oldest person in the room and the less senior person in the room. So that's required a lot of adjustment, a lot of self-talk. And I think had I not read The Power of Now, I would probably be a lot more triggered by kind of some of the things I'm encountering. And I also, this whole thing has also revealed an insecurity in myself. So one of the things that I'm always doing now is I'm always telling people that I'm a CPA. When I was working in the accounting field, I was never telling people I was a CPA. That's just not what I hung my hat on. But I recognize that in this environment, I'm in some ways justifying kind of, hey, this is why I'm a 40-year extern. But, sometimes I just have to sit back and recognize, like, it takes a lot of courage, one, to be in this position, to put yourself in, like, this position of learning again. and B is an opportunity to kind of perfect some of those soft skills to actually build my relationship with myself and my confidence. But it's hard. It's hard because, maintaining a posture of interest when one of the questions I was asked yesterday is like, what do you think HR does? What do I think HR does? I used to audit compliance with laws and regulations across a number of HR departments. So that's the thing I have to recognize. Like, they don't know you, and honestly, they don't care about what you've done in your past. But so it's all a me thing. So I think I just wanted to say that for people, if it's like, well, okay, you told us all of that, why do we care? I think one of the things that I'm constantly being humbled, and a part of being humbled is having the confidence to assert yourself in a way that makes sense for that situation. So I'm learning to stop saying like, oh, in my past life I was a CPA. Like, I'm actually going to make a commitment to myself that for the rest of this week I will not bring that up in conversation. So I'll report back in about that. What else being an extern? I think that's the biggest thing, just feeling a little awkward at this age being an extern. But the other thing is having the confidence to kind of like press for the experiences I want. Being comfortable saying like, oh, nope, I can't do that. I need to stay off. So that's something I recognize. Like, yeah, it's kind of cool being in this position of learning, but also having the confidence to kind of assert and get the kind of day-to-day experience I want. Now, the other thing is the importance of feedback. So I did something really new and big this week. I put my actual first intro video on YouTube. I did it in the middle of the night. I didn't ask anybody like listen to it before I put it up. I just put it up. And then I sent a link to my sister and my brother. One of my sisters and one of my brothers. And so my brother is like, he's probably in all of this like a secret weapon for me, because he is going to give me not only a good critique, like it's a good critique, but it's a detailed critique, to the point there's always a point when I like kind of start getting defensive. But I recognize I'm not going to get that level of scrutiny and critique from anybody else, in that level of like, okay, yeah, it's good, but you need to fix XYZ, XYZ. And so many of the things I do, so many people tell me like they just clap for me, and I appreciate that, and that's like wildly valuable. But what's been invaluable to me is my brother's voice and kind of how I've gone about things. So getting back to the video, so I asked him to look at the video, and he had this whole list of critiques. So it actually led me to record a second introduction video that you'll see posted, that I think it's just in general a better way to like present myself for the first time, like a better way to communicate what I'm doing, even though I'm still figuring it out. But that's one thing I really have to say that's been invaluable. You know, for sure you want people who are going to just stand up and clap for you just based off the fact that you tried. But you also need a person who's going to kind of be willing to give you the hard news about what they see, and not treat it like it's hard news. That's one of the things I really respect about our conversations. It's like, he doesn't treat it like, oh my God, I have something to tell you. It's like, oh no, I think that was whack, or I think you need to fix this, or why would somebody listen to that? And so that's all valuable. So I would say, and if I'm being totally honest, my first inclination was to call him a hater. Like every now and then when we go through this, I ask him for his help. He gives me his honest help. And if it's not like that, just praise right away, my instinct is to be like, oh, here he go being a hater. But I've come to see it like the reason I've been able to perfect so many things in like such a short time frame is because him in particular, he'll just give me straight up, nope, don't like it, and it's not even about his preference. He says things to me like, oh, well, that's not something I would listen to, but I could see how, if you're into this particular thing, I could see how you would listen to it. So, I mean, in closing, I just say, stay humble. I'm humble. You know how people always be like, yeah, I'm the most humble person you know. That's all the unhumble people. Being humble is, I almost feel like you have to be humble to be humble. And that's what this day-to-day experience is teaching me, is doing for me, is like constantly humbling me. And it's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing, because I think I've done the work of building my confidence. So to be humbled while still having confidence, you just kind of know like, I'm here now, I'll be up. What else? I think I'm going to have to learn how to close these things. So without a better close, I'll just say thanks for tuning in. When I have something to talk about again, I'll get on.